And I think the single greatest differentiator between the poor and the truly wealthy is how they see time.
What happens when people shift their intention
Yeah.
from scarcity, lack mindset to growth, impact, service, whatever it might be that you're coming from?
I'm so excited for this question. So I think the biggest thing that changes is time horizon. And I think the single greatest differentiator between the poor and the middle class and rich and the truly wealthy is how they see time. And if you think about money as simply a condensed unit of time, right? That's all money is. Like, you trade it for time. I mean, you can trade time for money. So like, they're almost equivalent units. And the people who know how to master their time the most mean that they know how to master their money the most, right? And so really, if you want to master, to the original question of like, how do wealthy people become wealthy, is because they master their time. And so time horizon is just like the perspective from which we see what we want to achieve. And all you have to do is look at every entrepreneur that's really wealthy, the amount of graveyard businesses they have in their back, right? And so like right now, if you're listening and you're like, I'm not sure if this is the perfect business idea, let me just save you the time. It's not, because look at every other person who has been ultra successful. They have 10 failed business ideas. So just start, so you can just start notching off the bad businesses, right? The three things that I think were in common of the ultra successful were inflated sense of self, as in they thought that they deserved big things, they wanted to go after big things.
They believed in themselves, right?
Inferiority, never being good enough, and impulse control.
Those are the three factors of the most successful.
That, like, when they did a common factors analysis, like, these people think, they believe that they can achieve all this amazing stuff, and then it's an amazing paradox, because at the same time they think they're not good enough, and they are insecure about whether they can achieve it. And they have impulse control. And they stay focused on the thing. And what I'd say the biggest breakthroughs that I've had, I think that will create a lot of the wealth that we will have in the future, is really a deep understanding of how long is. For most people, if they could extend the time horizon, because, like, I'll give you another hack. You can know how wealthy someone is based on the time horizons they speak in. So if someone's talking about how they're trying to make money today, hey, let me hold 20 for today. You know how poor they are. I have to say poor. Like, how poor they are, right? If someone's talking about what they're going to make this week, or this month, or this quarter, or this year, or this decade, think about how different the people are who are talking in those time horizons. And so I think that if we can shift the time horizon that we think in, then we gain more leverage over our time, which we then know we will compound into money. Because I think if you can master the time, you master the money.
And what do wealthy people do that you think poor people don't do?
They pick higher leverage opportunities, in a sentence. So like rich dad, poor dad, like poor dad says get a job, poor dad says get a higher paying job. Like rich dad says and the thing is, there's so many innate beliefs that seem commonplace. Like, well, of course, you know what I mean? Like, well, of course, you buy some real estate and it'll appreciate over time. Of course, you invest in some stocks. Like, yeah, of course. But like, poor dads just don't say that. And so you have to learn that. That just was, of course, yeah, once you have some money, of course you don't spend your whole income. Of course you don't. And so there's a lot of course you don'ts that I think I inherited just by being a saving father. But there's also some upper middle class people who don't save anything. So but I think my dad did I think he helped a lot with money hygiene.